Hey everyone, welcome to the first episode of the second season of Friday Around the Leagues with Jon Gordon. I'm Jon Gordon, and in this show, every single Friday, I'll be here to tell you about the most recent news that's happening around the major leagues. So let's get it started. Alrighty, we're in season 2 now. This is the first episode, and I'm really excited for season 2 because I'm ready to see what we can accomplish. But let's, start off with the first episode. In today's episode, I have some news about the Eagles, some A.J. Brown news, some Phillies news, and some NBA news. So let's get into it. Alrighty, let's start off with the Eagles. For the last 2 weeks, I've been slowly but surely announcing the Eagles' schedule in games, and telling, what I think's going to happen and who's going to win. Last week I did week 5 through 11, and this week I'm only doing, 3 weeks announcement instead of 5, because I have so much to announce, which is incredible because I haven't really had much to announce. But I have stuff to report on today, so I cut down a little bit of the Eagles' schedule just to give more information. So let's get into it. Alrighty, let's start with week 12. It is the Eagles at the Cowboys in Dallas, Texas. The last time I reported on the Eagles and Cowboys having a game this season, I talked about how much it's going to be, a back and forth game, and that it's going to be a grudge match, maybe on the field, but also, in the stands, with the fans, and off the field. But as how well the NFC East looks like it's going to do, this game is like probably might be one of the best games of the year. This is going to be kind of a tell of who's going to win the NFC East, getting down to the end of the season. It's just going to be back and forth. You really never know who's going to win because of how well these two teams have done, and how kind of close they are. But we'll have to see how everything goes, on how the rivalry goes on and off the field, in the stands with those Cowboys fans and Eagles fans definitely, being in Texas, in the Cowboys stadium. But we'll just, have to see. But, every single NFC East game is going to be a must watch. And this is, the most NFC East must watch game. But then week 13, the Eagles are at the Cardinals. The Cardinals aren't much of a, they're just in a rebuild right now, and the prediction is that the Cardinals aren't going to win a game this season because of how hard their schedule is, and against the Eagles, this is just going to be a grudge match, or it's going to be a easy match for the Eagles to win. It's sad because the Cardinals are really trying, but, it's another win for the Eagles. But then week 14 is the Eagles versus the Colts. I think this is the first time that the Eagles are re-meeting up with Daniel Jones, since his time with the Giants. The rivalry between Daniel Jones and the Giants versus the Eagles was, pretty great to watch for a few years. But now we're gonna have to see how it goes with him in the Colts offense against the Eagles defense, and then the Eagles offense versus the Colts defense. But we'll have to see how that goes and how all the rivalries work. But that's all I have for the Eagles. On their schedule. But let's get into a little bit of A.J. Brown. The trade hasn't happened yet where AJ's, off the Eagles, but it's kind of inevitable that it will be a trade that will happen around June 1st. AJ Brown and the Eagles had a pretty, great run for all the years that he was with us, winning a Super Bowl and making it to 2. But that last year just kind of messed everything up. And, AJ Brown, the biggest reports is that he's going to the New England Patriots. It's a pretty great fit because of Mike Vrabel from his times with Tennessee and being A.J. Brown's head coach. And the great fit with that offense. But it's sad to see him leave, especially remembering the runs and all the incredible catches and the incredible moments that we had with him on our team. But, that's all I really have on A.J. Brown. And when that trade does, come out that he's not on the Eagles anymore, I will have reports on that. But, that's all I have on A.J. Brown right now. But then let's get into the Phillies. Happy news. Back to the happy news. Because the Phillies are back on the hot streak. Since firing Rob Thompson, there are 16-6 in the last 22 games, since his, firing. And it's just incredible to see, because we started the season, I think it was 9-16. It just wasn't great. We just weren't making it. But right now we are heating back up and we are doing incredible. We're getting, some great statement wins, some great comebacks, and, some close shootouts at the end. But it's just all around amazing from the team. And definitely I give all props to Don Mattingly for, leading this team to, I'd say greatness right now. But, that's all I have on the Phillies. When they have, more of a hot streak, I'll, always keep reporting on it. But, my final news is about the NBA. The Eastern Conference Finals ended, 4-0 sweep for the New York Knicks. I think this is the third time this playoffs that the Knicks did get a sweep. And I do have good reports on this, and New York has not been burned down. New York is still here. I repeat, New York is still here. But, that series ended. But the Western Conference Finals still hasn't ended because Wemby and Shea have, kept it extremely competitive, and now it is 3-3 tie going into Game 7. Yes, Game 7. This will be a crazy matchup because you really can never predict who's going to win. There's been, blowouts from either side, or, close games from, this series. But I have to say this is one of the best series I've ever watched as an NBA fan. This is just it's just crazy. And this, I will say, this is probably going to be the best series of the whole playoffs for this year. Because, having two of the best teams and also having two of the best players in the NBA playing against each other in, heated competitiveness, with taking it down to Game 7 of the series where, anything can really happen. It's win or go home. It's going to be an incredible game to watch. It's been an incredible series, but we'll have to see what happens with that. And when that game does happen and then ends, I will, be having reports on that. And then after that is the NBA Finals, which when that happens, I will have, all reports on that. But, that's all I have. This is more news than I've, had in the last few weeks, and I'm extremely happy about it. And, this is the ending of the first episode of the second season of, more episodes to come and many more seasons to come. But, thank you all for watching, and please subscribe.